Welcome back to Maui TV News. Maui OnStage opened Neil Simon's classic semi-autobiographical comedy, Brighton Beach Memoirs, at the historic EL Theater in Wailuku. Paul James Brown had a great time, and he's here to tell you why for this week's edition of Curtain Call.
Elia Kazan, the late great director of Tennessee Williams classics such as Streetcar Named Desire and Glass Menagerie, said directing is 90% casting. Apparently, Ricky Jones, the director of this production, couldn't choose among the raft of young people he saw, so he double cast the roles of Eugene, Laurie, Nora, and Stanley. I saw it opening night with a great seasoned cast, and I don't know who you will see, but be sure to see Zeb Mehring as Eugene. Mr. Mehring, who is a Seabury senior, will be attending Yale University this fall. He is a theater veteran who has been in virtually every Seabury production over the last 4 years and been on stage since he was in 6th grade. His Hamlet remains the best I have ever seen, and with this performance, he proved he is as adept at comedy as he is tragedy. As the narrator of this show, Eugene Morris Jerome, the youngest son, Mr. Mehring displayed perfect comic timing and mature moment-to-moment work, playing a young man who is going through puberty while his family is in crisis allows Mr. Simon to explore difficult issues such as fear of poverty, tough parental decisions, long-standing familial animosities, and sibling rivalry, to name a few, while Mr. Mehring supplied the laughs both with lines and behavior. I loved his pubescent infatuation with his cousin Nora, played by Ashlyn Jade Aniban, especially his dropping the napkin and his face-to-chest scenes. His relationships are truthful and knowingly portrayed, and he deserved the standing ovation he received at the play's conclusion. Ms. Aniban's played charm, frustration, and anger. Her scene with her mother, done with vulnerability perfectly by Noelle Overbay-Smith as Blanche, was one of the most powerful moments in an evening filled with them. Mr. Simon gave all of his characters compelling situations and loads of motivation. If it were not for the character of Eugene, this play would be a drama. As Eugene's brother Stanley, Orion Milligan, fresh from his terrific work in Next to Normal, is growing every time he steps onto the stage. His Stanley was the best work he has done to date. His scene about masturbation with Eugene was played so well, the audience may have felt a little embarrassed between the laughter. Mr. Milligan is rapidly becoming one of Maui's best leading men. As the matriarch of the family, Kate, Allie Shore was the one in charge. It might be Eugene's story, but she was the one who made it all work. Everything spun around her power. With her beguiling, smoky voice, Ms. Shore has a commanding presence, and her one exposed instance was almost a tear-inducing moment. Another Maui veteran, Dale Button, played Jacob Jack Jerome, the overworked breadwinner of the Jerome family. Because he is the man, Kate deferred to him, but we knew who was really in charge. This is a part that Mr. Button and Mr. Jones created. Mr. Button would not be the first person one would think of for Jacob's role, but Mr. Button and Mr. Jones worked hard to give us the Jack we saw, and it was excellent work. Laurie, played by Kaya Glom, is saddled with a thankless part, playing the sick cousin. Most of the time she is reading. She has a scene with Eugene, and we get a glimpse of the animosity Nora has toward her. Mr. Jones, who also did the excellent set design, has crafted an outstanding evening of theater. He has found the right balance between comedy and pathos to make this finely written work sing. In lesser hands, this work could be like a sitcom meets a soap opera. Mr. Jones captured every moment. The relationships were very clear, and we know how anyone felt in every scene. The scene work was superb, and like a champion surfer, Mr. Jones rides the Simon wave expertly, crafting the ups and downs, but always moving the story forward in a sure arc. Bravo! This is Mr. Jones' best directing work. Because it is double cast, I would like to see what Kaimana Neal, Michaela Wesson, and Marley Mehring do with the piece. I have enjoyed all their work, and it will be wonderful to see Marley and Zeb together again. Vicki and Roxy Nelson did the costumes, and they were reminiscent of the period. I particularly liked Eugene's knickers, socks, and sweater vest, and Nora's outfits. I love the set Mr. Jones did a great job on it. By presenting all the playing areas simultaneously, he minimized time between scene changes. This is the first set I have ever seen that actually had a fourth wall. Brighton Beach Memoirs runs until May 10th at the historic EL Theater in Wailuku. Tickets are available by calling 242-6969 or online at MauiOnStage.com, or you can stop by the box office Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss it. That's Curtain Call for this week. I'm Paul James Brown. Ahui ho. Stay tuned for coming attractions on Maui TV News right after these messages.
This portion of Maui TV News is sponsored by Haleakala Solar. Haleakala Solar, plugging Maui into the sun for over 30 years.
Legends speak of a time when a great hero harnessed the sun to share its power for all our aina. We are the House of the Sun. Haleakala. Saving energy and the environment. Call or visit our showroom to learn how we've been keeping the legend alive for over 30 years. We are the most experienced, dependable team in all the islands. Rely on Haleakala Solar to bring the power of the sun into your home.
Discovering Hawaii means experiencing a sense of place, touching our island culture, and savoring those precious moments. That's what the Ka'anapali Beach Hotel and its Ohana offers you. To ensure your island stay on Maui is a discovery of your island home away from home. The Ka'anapali Beach Hotel, Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel.